This is the Doctor, President-elect of the High Council of Time Lords.
I am definitely a madman with a box.
Anyone for jelly, baby?
I'm the Doctor. I'm 904 years old. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castabras.
Hey you fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box podcast. My name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And this is episode 90.
The Queen's age. 90.
Sponsored by Her Royal Majesty, the Queen. This is episode 90.
Yeah, she's getting into her social media stuff these days, isn't she? She's doing videos with Harry, and she's very cool.
Yep.
These days, the Queen.
Seen her do the odd Vine.
I think she pops up on Periscope.
Possibly, yeah. Beating the corgis. All that jazz. Watching Doctor Who.
She hasn't got Twitter, though, has she?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
No.
She might well. Well, there might be a royal Twitter account.
Yeah.
Whether she actually gets her iPhone out and starts tweeting, I'm not sure. The odd
She should do
selfie.
that. Yeah, imagine a Queen selfie.
So thank you very much for joining us for episode 90. For new listeners, my name's Gary, along with Adam, and we bring you Doctor Who news and reviews and commentaries and merchandise roundups and all sorts of stuff. So welcome aboard. We've had a load of new listeners recently, so that's good.
Oh, hello to the new people.
Waving to you from behind our microphones.
Yeah, hello to the old people as well.
Hello to our long-term listeners as well. Yep.
Those of you with the
grizzled
grey hair.
ancients. Yep. The guys that have stuck with us, don't know, well over a year now. So it's all good. So we've got some cool stuff coming up. We have really good news from Big Finish. We've got cool little merch, and then we've got our this week's episode review, which we've been asking you about, and you've given us your thoughts and comments. So that is all good stuff. First up, though, as usual, how have you been, my good friend?
Very good. Yes, I've been okay. I've not been up to a lot Who-wise this week, I have to say, because what I was hoping we'd be able to talk about this week was the fact that we were supposed to be going to the Cartoon Museum together, weren't we, to this Doctor Who Target book exhibition.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
It just all fell apart thanks to the blimmin' trains and their signals going down. And whereas you got to spend a lovely afternoon in the gallery, I got to spend 2 hours in a train station waiting for them to sort it out before giving up and finally conceding that I wasn't going to get to central London. So, yeah, so I'm a bit good because I was really hoping we'd be chatting about getting drunk in a London beer garden last week, but it just didn't happen.
It didn't, mate. And I was really gutted for you as well, because it was such a lovely day in London.
It was really nice day.
It was really good. So, so we had planned, hadn't we, to meet up and go to the museum, hit up FP, and then just go and chill out for a couple of hours somewhere, have a few brewskis, and then, talk the night away about Who and everything. So, but those bloody trains...
It was apparently the signal network went down on the entire line. And the funny thing, well, not funny at the time, but the thing is, it literally happened within 5 minutes of me buying my ticket. So I bought my ticket, thought, right, just go and head down to the train, to the bit where the train comes in. And I just looked at the thing. It's all delayed. I thought, oh, that's not good, because normally it will say delayed 2 minutes, but it didn't. It just said delayed. Everything delayed. I thought, oh, what's happened? And I was quite lucky, actually, because I spoke to the woman who was really angry behind the screen. She was like, do you want a refund? I was like, oh, well, is it that bad then? Is it not going to sort itself out in the next sort of 10 minutes? What's going on? Yeah. She's like, no, we've got no further news. I'd get a refund if I was you. And I'd literally just bought my tickets. I was like, oh, what do I do? So I got a refund, but then hang around the station thinking, they'll sort it out in a minute, because certain bits of the line kept coming back on. So they were like, right, yeah, we're getting there now. Oh, no, it's not happening. So I was just like, it gets every now and again, you get this sort of glimmer of hope that you might make it. But in the end, it was getting so late. I just thought, you know what? It's not not going to be worth me going in. But I kept sending you like updates, didn't I? Like pictures of my ticket, pictures of all the people kicking off in the station, pictures of my dinner while I was waiting to see. Yeah, I thought I'll have a sandwich. I thought I'll chill out. I'll have a sandwich. It'll all be fine. I'll get the 1 o'clock. It'll be good. But no, it just never happened. But I was good. It sounded we were going to have a cracking day, weren't we?
We were, yes.
Yeah, but you did have a cracking day, I assume, because it looked really good. The posters you pictured, the pictures you posted of the cartoon museum looked really good.
Yes, so I did manage to get there. The line that I used, the Thameslink line into London, was all good, mate.
Yeah.
So I jumped on. I was in there promptly.
What's the deal with photos in there? Because I've seen a few pictures of it, but you're not. Is it that you're not allowed to take specific?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you can take a selfie with you and some of the pieces of artwork in the background and stuff, but you're not allowed to put your phone up quite close and take a picture of an individual print.
Right. That's fair enough, I suppose.
Which is like copyright stuff, so that's all good. But it's a great little. I mean, it's very small. There's only about 14, 15 pieces of work there.
Oh, really? Oh, not that much at all then.
Quite small. However, they are amazing to look at.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing looking at the mass, produced prints on the books and stuff, which are decent quality anyway. But when you actually see them in the flesh, and you see the actual brush strokes and the artwork and stuff like that, it's really, really good. And they had some really good ones there as well, like Pyramids of Mars, Genesis of the Daleks, and the three. They just had so many. Well, I say so many. They had really good examples. Of some of the artwork, and I mean, I must have walked around and looked at all of them like 2 or 3 times. And they got some other cool little bits. So they got a really good little shop. Didn't realise
they had a little shop.
Yeah, they didn't realise they had so many good. They got loads of really good books there about just general sci-fi and comic book stuff, obviously, and cartoony bits and pieces. So it's all really good. So it's really good.
Do they have any Doctor Who books in there? Because last time I went, which was years ago, it was to a similar thing. They had some of the Target books in there, like the old ones, but they looked new. I don't know if they were like reissues or what, but
yes, they have got some Doctor Who books in there. I picked up the new Target book,
the new
Target guide book, that we spoke about.
Did you check the page to make sure it wasn't faded? One of these dodgy ones that they've issued because there's been a printing issue with some of them, hasn't there? Where I think it's the back page or one of the pages in the back is faded. It's not printed properly, and there's a whole batch of them out there apparently. Yeah,
well, I had a quick flick through, and I couldn't see anything that was wrong.
That's
so
good.
It might be okay, but you know what? Yeah, if it's not, I've got one of the rarer ones that.
Well, that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, no, I think you should be fine because it seems that they picked up on it like really, really quick, and I think it was literally as it was about to launch. So it seems like they've probably sorted it. Yeah,
I think it's cool.
It's a great book though, isn't it?
It's really, really good.
Yeah, it is.
And they had some other books there as well. They had some of the Target ones, like the new ones that have been reissued. They had some of the older ones, but new copies of some of the older ones. And that was it, really. They had like a load of other books for different franchises and all sorts. They got T-shirts, posters, some really good Doctor Who posters, like big canvas style prints and stuff. They look really good.
Oh, right.
So yeah, it was good. And I bumped into one of our listeners there. As soon as I walked in, I spotted long-time listener, Adam, the ultimate Whovian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hello there, Adam.
Hello. So, so I hung out with him, and then we went off to Forbidden Planet, picked up some more Doctor Who merch.
Yeah.
And, so it was a good day. I'm just gutted that you weren't there, mate.
So was I. Yeah.
But it was cool.
What was the other good pickups you got? Because you got some other good stuff. Didn't you get one of the signed Target books by Eric Saywood or something?
That's right. Yeah. So that was the Visitation.
Oh, the Visitation. Yes.
That was the only one I could find that was signed in Forbidden Planet. Yeah. Picked up K9, the Pop Funko.
Oh, you got him.
K9.
That's right. Yeah, he's brilliant, isn't he?
After you ordered me to get him last week.
You've got to have him. I bet you don't regret it either.
No, he looks cool.
Was he a decent price? Because he does vary.
He was 11 quid.
That's all right.
So it's not too bad. And I picked up a Titan blind box, and my luck has continued with the Titan blind boxes because I got the little Tom Baker. His like dark suit
the regeneration
with a turquoise frilly shirt.
Yes,
that one. Yeah, so I grabbed that, which is cool.
It's a good one, actually. Yeah, I like that figure.
I don't think I've got a bad Titan yet. I mean, I haven't got anywhere near as many as you. So the ratio from, or the probability of me getting a duplicate or something is a lot less than you.
I've got a whole lineup of Riversong duplicates that I sometimes fire a spud gun at. I just line them up and just shoot them down,
cool,
like I'm at a fairground ride. Yeah.
So yeah, that was all good. I got another couple of little bits, just other, not really Doctor Who stuff, but it was good. It was a good day.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I must admit, I'm hoping. My plan is to actually head up there today after we finish recording. That's what I'm planning. But trains permitting. That's what I'm hoping to do. Hoping to go there because it finishes this week, doesn't it? This is the last week, I think.
Yes, I think it finishes on Friday or tomorrow or Saturday or something.
Yeah, so there's not many days left. I thought I'd tie it in because our good friend Mr. Andrew Cartmel is signing his new book in FP tonight, the day we're recording. So last night, if you're listening on the day that this will come out, timey-wimey and all that. So I'm going to try and tie it in with that. I'm going to try and get to the museum and then pop along and grab his new book and get it signed. Is the plan. Whether it happens, we just don't know. I'll let you know next week.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Before we move on to news, just really quickly, we've been talking a lot about covers recently. Target book covers, like the artwork for the covers and stuff. And I found this cool Twitter account. And it's called @DoctorWhoCovers.
Oh, that's nice and easy to remember.
Yeah, so give it a follow, and they've got literally loads of stuff, like really cool, like audiobook covers, comic book covers, book covers. Really good. Just spend 5-10 minutes just like flicking through all of their stuff. So shout out to Doctor Who Covers. Cool Twitter account.
I'm searching it now. Is it DR or Doctor spelt the proper way?
Doctor Who, spelt fully.
Covers.
Yeah, Doctor Who Covers.
I'm typing it in. I shall add that. Sounds really cool. Actually, just before we move on, talking to those Target novels, I nearly made a drop to right clunker because mine arrived signed from FP last week, whatever it was.
Yes.
And they were supposed to be signed by 3. So they're supposed to be signed by Chris the artist, 1 by Eric Saywood, and 2 by Terrance Dicks. And I flicked through, and they were all signed by Chris. Eric had signed his one. I was like, "Oh, Terrance! What? They misadvertised it. This is not signed by Terrance." And so I was going to email FP and say, "Look, you told me when I ordered these it'd be signed by Terrance and Chris." And I thought, I can't be bothered. And then I put the pictures on Geeks Handbag Facebook page, and someone pointed out, they were like, "Have you turned the next page?" And I was like, "No, what?" And I opened it, and what happened was Chris had signed one page, and Terrance had signed the other, so I felt a bit of a fool. So I'm really glad I didn't email them, but because Eric and Chris had signed the same page, so I don't know why it just didn't occur to me to check the other page.
Just to check the other one.
Yeah, so thank you to that person that
cool.
pointed out what a fool I was. Yeah, but I was pleased because Uncle Terrance Dicks is a legend, so it's good to have one signed by him.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so all good.
Right, let's land and do some news.
Yeah.
Some good news for Big Finish. I think I saw something similar to this last year, where they said they had their license renewed for quite a long time, and now they've had it extended even further. So good news. We're going to have Big Finish Doctor Who, and I assume Torchwood, up until 2025.
I know.
That seems ages away.
It does. It makes me feel old because I'm thinking, God, how old will I be in 2025? But no, it's really good news. Makes me wonder if they're going to get some of the other new doctors on board, because there's been a lot of rumours floating around about Matt Smith. And
yes.
I don't know how true it is, but the rumour is that, Matt's been asked quite a few times by fans, please do some Big Finish. And apparently his standard answer is, I'd love to. Well up for it, but I haven't been asked. That's his sort of standard answer, apparently,
right.
in brackets. So if that's true, I mean, I think, can you imagine mountain audio? I think he'd be superb, actually.
Oh, yeah.
With Big Finish, I think he'd be absolutely brilliant. So that would be cool.
I think Big Finish brings out the best in any actor that's played the Doctor.
Oh, yeah, I'd go along with that, especially with Colin. Colin is superb on audio.
And Sylve.
And Sylve, yeah.
Colin and Sylve. The War Doctor now, he's great. The War Doctor. And I think it could potentially happen because now we've got somebody from the new era of Doctor Who. So this month we'll get the 10th Doctor.
Yes.
So Dr. Donna. So now we've got some people from the current era of Doctor Who or New Who, however you want to say it. That might open a door now. So people like Matt Smith and Amy and Rory, anyone like that. And if any opportunity to get them on Big Finish, I think it'd be awesome. And until 2025, I mean, I can't really see Tom doing it. Well, maybe, I'm not sure, but I imagine he's going to want to properly retire at some point and put his feet up. So, they're going to want to bring on some new people by then. So yeah, I'm all for this. This is amazing.
I was going to say, I suppose they need to keep it fresh, to keep it going that long. They've done a good job. I mean, you think about how long Big Finish are around, and the quality of the audios is still really, really good, actually. I mean, you get the odd one that's a bit below par, obviously, but they're still really, really on a roll, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know a lot of people would like to see Chris, but I doubt it. But he would be good. But
yeah, possibly.
Not going to happen, is it?
Well, not that he wouldn't be good, but I mean, yeah, possibly getting him on there. Don't know. So Big Finish around till at least 2025.
Yes, and talking of being around for a long time, and in our second news item, Doctor Who magazine are fast approaching their 500th issue.
Wow.
Yes, so I hope mine arrives in better condition than issue 499, because it's I don't know if you've seen what you're going to get next month, but it looks like they are really, it's going to be such a good issue. 500. Yeah. They're putting loads of extra bits in with it. I think the price is slightly higher as well, but yeah, it looks brilliant. So to celebrate, they're conducting a poll to find out which fans think is their favourite cover, basically. And obviously out of 500, they can't just put all the covers up. It'd be too much to go through. So what they're doing, they're putting the covers up 50 covers at a time. Yep. So you can pick your one cover out of the 50. And then basically they're just going to select your results from that. So this is really good. And I'm sure you did the same. I've looked at the first 50 that they've put up, and they're just great, aren't they? They just love the early covers. They're
brilliant. I love that really old red logo. Where you say Doctor Who Weekly?
The diamond logo, yeah.
Yeah, because it used to be a weekly mag, didn't it? I mean, how the bloody hell they got enough content each and every week is beyond me. But so yeah, but and then it moved on to fortnightly, and now it's monthly. But the old covers, they're so good.
They are really cool. Good. If you want to see them, it's www.doctorwhomagazine.com and / I don't know if you need this bit, do you? Is it SAUDCVAS? I don't know what that means.
Yes, or if you just go to doctorwhomagazine.com, there's a nav link at the top that says DWM Covers Survey. And you can drop down, and currently, like Adam said, they're doing them in batches of 50, and they're currently up to 301 to 350.
Yeah.
So you've got, 7 pages worth of 50 covers to go through and vote. But I tell you what, it's great looking through them all. Really, really good. So, and they're going to whittle down, they're going to take the most amount of votes from that batch, and then from there they're going to decide which is the most liked and voted for cover from the past 500. That's pretty good.
It is good, yeah. They really mix it up as well, don't they? Because some of these are photo covers, some of them are art covers. They really sort of, varied it back then, so it's cool.
It's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be getting this. I assume because you subscribe, you're going to be getting this anyway. But it's
I'll be getting a folded copy through the letterbox. Yeah,
you're getting a mangled, twisted copy. But yeah, I think it's a tenner this month, isn't it? I think it's $9.99, but it's a really big bumper issue with loads of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's almost like 2 issues in one or something. I can't remember. They're doing like a mini mag and loads of stuff with it. Yeah, it's going to be really good. I'm well looking forward to getting that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, merch. We've only got one merch item, so we'll leave the Daleks outside.
Or they'll be going mad.
They'll be going mad, but yeah. So just really quickly, the Torchwood comics are now up for pre-order. And you can, at the moment, I've only seen them at forbiddenplanet.com. But you can go over there and they've got like the usual batch of variants that you would normally see from Titan these days. So I think at the moment there's 6. I think there's 6 variants. Yes, so up to cover F. So they've got like the standard one, which is like the action pose. Then they've got a couple of more darker looking ones, and they've got the blank one, so you can sketch your own cover on the front, which looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So they're up for pre-order at the moment, £2.65, and I believe, when do these come out? July. Yeah. Beginning of July. So yeah, if you're into your Doctor Who Titan comics and you're also a big fan of Torchwood, these might be good. I think we're going to get our preview for them. I think it's the beginning of June.
Oh right, okay.
Or the second week of June or something. So we'll have a flick through and let you know just how good they potentially are.
Yeah, it's great. I love the fact that Torchwood it's clearly still got a good, solid fan base out there, hasn't it? Because with the Big Finish audios and these, and it's great to see Torchwood still getting stuff out there and not being forgotten.
Still clinging on.
I'm going to get these. I must admit, I was a little bit gutted last night because I still order the Doctor Who comics from FP, and because they charge postage and quite a lot, I always wait till I need to pre-order like a big batch, so that I only have to pay one lump sum of postage, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So I did quite a big back order last night of all the pre-orders for the latest Doctor Who comics, and I put it through, and then literally this was added to their site, I think about 10 minutes after, and I was like, oh no, because I would have added these on as well. So I've got to wait until the next batch and then get these added on, because Forbidden Planet charged so much postage, if you see what I mean. It's better to sort of try and do everything at once.
Oh yeah.
So you only have to pay one lot of £5. But yeah, I will be getting these. Obviously, yeah, it's cool that we'll get a little preview of it. It'd be good to see how they're done. Yeah,
it's good. And there is a lot of Torchwood vibe going on at the moment, because I don't know if you've seen on the interwebs over the last 2 days, but there's a lot of chatter about Captain Jack coming back for the Christmas special this year.
Yes.
So that could be an interesting little point on the plot.
Yeah, funny enough, I made a note to mention that and then completely forgot. Yeah, this is because he dropped a big hint that he's going to be going to Cardiff very soon.
Yeah.
But he's not saying what for, and of course, we automatically issue. Thing is, I think John Barrowman is so keen to come back to the show that if he is coming back, I think he almost would find it impossible not to do that. It'd be like bursting to say. You can just tell he's just. So I really hope it is the case, because you know what? I think a Christmas special with Captain Jack would be ace. I think it'd be just what the Doctor ordered. I would love it. So
how many puns do you want to put in there? It would be ace. Just
fantastic.
I can just imagine old Barrowman standing outside BBC Wales building in his Captain Jack outfit. It's like, I'm here. You're like, okay, you're not in it, but hi.
Come and watch.
He's like, I can be on set, I can do a walk-on part, whatever. You're not in it, mate. Bugger off.
Oh, no.
No. So that could be good, though. Captain Jack and the 12th Doctor, that could be very interesting.
I really, I just love the idea of it, because unlike a lot of characters like River and that, Jack's not been overused. So I think the timing would be great, actually, because we haven't seen him for a while, have we? So
nope.
Yeah, so really, really fingers crossed. We know you listen, John, and he's doing a lot of book signings at the minute, isn't he?
Yeah, so
yeah, we really hope it's true.
Yes, we do. Adam.
Hello there.
What are we reviewing this week?
This week, my good friend, we are reviewing the 10th Doctor story, The Idiot's Lantern.
I want my friend restored, and I think that's beyond a little backstreet electrician, so tell me, who's really in charge here?
Yoo-hoo! I think that must be me. Ooh, this one's smart as paint.
Is she talking to us?
I'm sorry, gentlemen, I'm afraid you brought this on yourselves. May I introduce you to my new friend?
Jolly nice to meet you.
Oh my God, it's her, that woman off the telly. No, it's just using her image.
What? What are you?
I'm the Wire. And I will gobble you up, pretty boy. Every last morsel. And when I have feasted, I shall regain the corporeal body, which my fellow kind denied me.
Good Lord, colour television. So your own people tried to stop you?
They executed me. But I escaped in this form and fled across the stars.
And now you're trapped in the television.
Not for much longer.
Ooh.
Hungry!
Feed me.
I'm hungry. That's what she keeps saying, isn't it? Hungry.
Blimmy now, it's that woman off the telly.
All right, Gary, what's it all about then, mate?
What's going on, Governor? Right, The Idiot's Lantern. May 2006, this was out. Written by Mark Gatiss.
Or Gatiss.
Gatiss. Whatever tomato you prefer.
Let's call the whole show off.
So, yes, this was a one-parter.
Thank God.
Obviously, as they all are. And this was one of those episodes where they really played on the time in which the episode was set. So in some episodes of Doctor Who, especially in the newer stuff, it doesn't matter whether they go like 200 years in the future or 200 years back in time. This one, they really played on the style of the 50s and you know, the hairstyles and the clothes and the Vesper scooter and all that stuff. It's very much a time episode. Which didn't help matters really.
No.
Let's kick off. Let's shake it up a bit. I'll go first.
Okay. Yeah, go
so
for it.
The Idiot's Lantern. Not the best. Not one of the best from Tennant's era.
We both said we hadn't watched it for a while, didn't we? We were both like, well,
yeah.
I think both of us said we'd only watched it once, maybe twice most, and couldn't remember it at all, really. So that says something.
Yeah, so I'd only watched it twice before. So not one of the best. However, it's one of those stories which is very, very frustrating to watch for two reasons. One, it's got lots of potential to be good, because I think that's one of the things that Mark Gatiss is very good at, even if some of his episodes haven't been that great, because he's very hit and miss, I find.
Yeah, me too.
With Who. Some of them, well, a couple of them have been very, very good, but then another couple have been atrocious. So one of the things that is consistent with his writing, though, is the stories have got loads of potential. If you read it on, probably if you read the script or if you read the story that he put together, you'd think, wow, that could be awesome. So that's the first thing. It had loads of potential. But second of all, I've not really known a story in Doctor Who in the modern times where it goes downhill so very quickly after quite a good start.
Yeah.
Because it started off really well for me, even when I watched it, and I couldn't really remember. I remember pieces of it from before because it's quite a forgettable episode, but I remember it being quite creepy at the beginning, and it was, it sets the scene very nicely. It's almost like the whole, it's like a dark, stormy night, lightning going on, and there's, a creepy thing in the TV, and, this guy's obviously very weirded out and stuff. And it starts really good like that. It's very suspenseful, and you think, wow, this could be quite a creepy episode. But after that point, it just really doesn't pick up at all, and it's quite mundane and just easily forgettable. So not that great, unfortunately. What do you think? What do you think to this one, buddy?
Yeah, I must admit, this is one of those stories. I was really hoping it'd be one of those where, where we haven't watched it for a while and it pleasantly surprises me. I was thinking, oh, let it be one of those, where I think it's going to be rubbish, but actually I get to the end of it and think, oh, actually, that's not bad. I should have given that a rewatch. But sadly, that was not the case. In fact, if anything, I think it was worse than I remembered, because it's never been a favourite. It's never been one that I go back to. But it's not. But it doesn't stick in my mind as being terrible. And to be fair, it's not terrible. But but it's not good. And I would totally agree with what you just said about how it starts very promisingly. And I think for the first 5 minutes, I was thinking, actually, yeah, this could be good. Maybe this is going to be one that I rate higher than I think I was going to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really does go downhill pretty quick. But yeah, I like I said, some great ideas bubbling away in the script. Some good stuff going on, but for lots and lots of reasons, it doesn't translate at all on screen. So I'm afraid not great, this one. I found it a bit of a chore.
Yeah.
It was 45 minutes where I was actually thinking, I was kind of looking forward to it ending. Yeah, I just kind of, well, not that, as I said, it's not terrible, but I kind of wanted it to wrap up. I was just thinking I wasn't invested in it enough. I just kept thinking, skip to the end, basically.
Yeah. So those of you who haven't seen The Idiot's Lantern, just very quickly, it's a story set around the time of the Queen's coronation, and there's like an alien life form that's been stripped of her body and is traveling through space as just electricity, I assume, from what I can gather. And she plonks herself into the television of this guy who sells and fixes televisions, and she kind of, she does that thing where like electricity or whatever comes out the TV, grabs somebody's face and starts sucking like the soul out of them, it looks like. So she does that a little bit to this guy. I think she kind of takes over his mind a little bit, pressures him into doing stuff. So he then starts selling TVs off really cheap to the town and for part of the country, and everyone's now got a TV in their front room, even though back in the time, when was this, 1953? Hardly anyone had a TV in their front room, but all of a sudden everyone's got TVs because the master plan of this alien called The Wire, she wants to basically gobble up the souls or the spirit or whatever of all the people who are currently watching the coronation, because that's like got a viewership of almost as much as our podcast, really. I think it was 20 million,
something like
something like that. So that's the basis. And the Doctor and Rose, they turn up. I think the Doctor plans to take her to New York in the 50s. But they end up in London. So coincidentally, they've landed smack bang in the middle of this atrocity going on, and yes, it's up to them to save the day.
That's right. So
that's the story, pretty much. And yeah, like we've just said, in a nutshell, it's probably not the best 10th Doctor story to get stuck into. It's absolutely one of those dust collectors.
It's very much a filler, isn't it? Because it does kind of it all wraps up nicely, and I don't know. There's no consequence to the episode before or after, or it could quite easily not be there, basically.
Yeah.
Where is this? Is Tennant's first series? Is it? Is this series 2?
Series 2. Yes.
Series 2. Yeah. Yep. So Tennant's first series, and episode 7, is it? So it's sort of at the back end of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it follows the two-parter, the Cyberman,
right.
Two-parter. What is it?
Age of Steel and something else.
Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel. And they weren't amazing, if I remember correctly. They weren't. No. I don't remember them being like really popular, amazing Cybermen stories. So they were okay. But fortunately, it does pick up a little bit after this. The Impossible Planet is next, which is really good.
Yeah, the reason I asked where it was in the series is because I was surprised that the sort of characterization of the Doctor and Rose seemed really smug in this, and I don't know, it almost felt like it was one of their earlier stories to me. I was thinking, like, Tennant doesn't feel like the Doctor to me in this. He feels like he's still finding his feet. And I don't know, maybe it was recorded early on in the block, but that's why I was thinking, is this one of the earlier ones of Series 2 where he's still not quite got the character or whatever? But yeah, so it wasn't. It was a bit later on, which is surprising because they just, both of them, I don't think particularly hit the mark in this story.
Yeah, I think,
and I don't know why, but
yeah, I think you're right. I think Tennant is. I mean, don't get me wrong. He is good. He is pretty good in this. There wasn't anything that that shouted out to me like, "Oh, really not keen on Tennant on this one." You know, he was still the Doctor. He was still good, but he did have a certain amount of smugness about him.
Well, and Rose is very smug and quite annoying in it, actually. She's really quite full of herself in this. But I don't know, with Tennant, I actually thought it's maybe more down to the script actually than him, but he's really up and down in it. So he goes from sort of being quite jokey. There's a lot, he's very whiny in it. Mm-hmm. He goes from being very sort of jokey to right to the other end of the scale where he's shouting and, "Oh, you've done it now. You know, this just got serious." And all that. But he really ramps it up to 11. And I think, if anything, he goes a bit too much. I think he's perhaps trying to give the episode a bit more drama than it actually has on the page, if you like.
Yeah.
So I didn't, surprisingly, because it's not very often, I think, Tennant's not good, but I didn't think he was that great in this one. But again, maybe more down to the script than him. But he just seemed unbalanced. It just seemed to be very, very jokey, very, 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 very angry, shouty, very, very jokey. There was none of that sort of nice in between, Tennant, which is why I thought maybe he was finding his feet a bit in the role. But I don't know.
Yeah. So there was no middle ground really. It was just the only one bit that. You are right. It's very shouty and very jokey a lot of the time. There were a couple of scenes, like when he confronts the guy in the TV shop. What was his name? Mr. Magpie.
Yeah, Magpie. Yeah, I love that.
When he confronts him, he did. He does show some emotion there. It's not all sort of smugness and I'm here to save the day and all that stuff. He was quite miffed because at that point Rose had been taken. She was one of the faceless people.
That's right. Yeah, that's what tips him over the edge, isn't it? When he sees Rose, he's like, "Ah."
Yeah. So that was quite cool. But other than that, you are completely right, mate. It's very. There aren't any of those nice little Doctor companion bits where it balances out all the humour and shoutiness and. Yeah,
they both seem just a little bit too cocky in this for my liking. I don't know why. I just found both of them as the sort of the dynamic between the two seemed quite smug, and I didn't really like that.
Yeah. No, Regia. Let's talk about a little bit in the story. So, how did you feel about the story as not from the perspective looking at Tennant's performance or anything like that, but just as a story as a whole, like how it looked, how it played through, how it paced along, and because I found it quite. The pacing was okay. It moved along okay, but it just seemed to be a bit samey. It was like the Doctor arrived with Donna, and they immediately go and investigate what's wrong, and then it cut back to the scene where the Connollys are yelling. Well, Eddie, the father figure, he was like yelling his lungs off at his missus and the boy. Then it cut back to the Doctor, and they were going off to try and do something, and it cut back and he was shouting some more at the boy.
Yeah.
And then it goes off and then there's a different scene. Then it cuts back and he's shouting some more. I just found it to be very much back and forth, a bit samey throughout the thing. But yeah, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I suppose, once again, by the way, listeners are going to be screaming out at you because you just called Rose Donna. Just going to let you know. There we go, and it's Rose.
Just
I think you got Donna on the brain. I don't know why.
Just quickly, I did that on Facebook.
I know.
When it first went out, I said Dr. Donna, and it's why am I doing that?
I don't know. You've got Donna. You've got Donna on the brain.
Sorry, buddy. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, don't blame. Maybe it's because it's Catherine Tate's birthday the day today we're recording, so maybe that's why.
Probably.
She's influenced you. Yeah. But yeah, no. Overall, the story. I find the sort of concept of it pretty bland. Actually, a thing that's trapped as an electrical. Presence, the only thing that works for me is the fact I do like all the stuff of the faceless people and being sucked into the TV and all that's quite good. But problem is when you've got a villain trapped in something, I don't find it very threatening. So although I quite like Maureen Lipman, I find I can't see her really doing much in terms of anything exciting. Do you know what I mean? I just think she's just trapped in that box, even though she might suck me into it. I just didn't find it very sort of good in terms of a villain or monster in that sense, just because I thought there was no threat. But But I like the idea of the faceless thing. I think that works pretty well. It's still quite good how they did it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Rosen, was done quite well when she had no face. It looked pretty horrific considering it's just a blank face, but it still looked quite good. Unlike some of the special effects, like when they're being pulled into the TV and that just looked really, really, really dated, really bad, even for then. But yeah, I wasn't really invested in the story. I mean, we got this whole sort of domestic storyline bubbling away in the background, like you said, that we keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough. I don't know. It wasn't enough to sort of keep me entertained, I have to say. It felt a little, like you said, every time we went back, I was like, yeah, he shouts a lot. Yeah, Billy's going to throw him out, whatever. And, it wasn't good enough to keep me entertained, I have to be honest. No,
I read you, man. And I think this was a little bit lazy for me in the writing, because like I said earlier, after that first 5 or so minutes have gone, the story was very, very similar to Mark Gattis's last story for Who, which was The Unquiet Dead.
Oh yeah, which is probably one of his better ones, isn't it?
That was really good. I quite like that. That episode is pretty good. But it's a very similar concept where, in The Unquiet Dead, it was it turned out to be gas. Aliens made of gas, didn't it? That were, entering people's bodies like gas trails and stuff like this. This was the same, but with just like electricity.
Actually, now you mention it, it's the same because it is. I hadn't really thought about it, but you're absolutely right, because the only difference is that she is trying to get a body. She's trying to sort of, but she does. Yeah, it's the same concept in a way. Yeah, she's just, the fact is she's still trapped, so she's not a life form. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I hadn't really sort of thought about it, but yeah,
it's not that different really. So I found it a little bit lazy in that respect. But I just wish they would have made it more of a scarier episode.
It could have been, and I have to say, I think Euros Lyn, the director, really is trying to make it. I think she really tried. Is it he or she?
He.
Euros. Yeah. Died already. No, I think he really was trying to make it a bit more, because like there's lots of crazy, creepy camera angles. In fact, it really annoyed me on the first watch, but not so much this time. But everything's on an angle. I remember thinking they'd gone a bit OTT with that the first time I watched it. I was thinking, yeah, we get it. It's creepy angling, but you're doing it with every single shot. Like even one of the Magpie Electricals. It's like it's on a massive slant. I was thinking, you've got this idea. It's good. It works for certain scenes. You don't need to do it in every shot. But I think he's trying to eject a bit of something in there. But it could have been. You're right. It could have been a lot creepier. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was one scene in particular that really did creep me out a lot, and that is where in the Connolly's house, before Grandma gets carted off by the men in black, as they weirdly say, you can't see her. You can just hear banging sounds. And when you open the door, like all you see is her silhouette in like the moonlit window and stuff, and that suspense, and that is really creepy. And then when you saw her face, that was just skin. So scenes like that, and the very beginning as well, I found them really suspenseful and quite creepy. I just wish that the episode was more like that. So maybe having the villain reveal towards the end, not this not weird looking, but this like BBC News speaker person, which completely diluted the threat for me. It was like you just can't be scared by her. You can't, because we saw her immediately right at the beginning. I would have preferred it to have more of a reveal later on.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So, it was just one of those episodes where I was like, this could have been good. It could have been like a real creepy, suspenseful thing, but it just turned out to be a bit wishy-washy.
You feel like you just want to switch her off, don't you?
A bit same. Yeah, you do.
It's on the screen when she's sort of going on and on. You just feel like going, blah. Switch her off.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What do you reckon to the support cast then? So what about the Connollys then? So Eddie that screams his lungs out at everybody throughout the entire episode. The kid, Jamie, and what's the mum called?
Is it Rita?
Rita, that's it, yep.
I have to say, I thought, well, one of the notes I made was that the guy playing Eddie, who's shouting his lungs off. That's the dad, right? Eddie?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought he was way over the top, but I realised actually about halfway through the episode, it's not really his performance that's over the top. It's the fact he's doing that accent, mate. He's doing that because I was watching him thinking, God, he's not a very good actor. But actually, if you watch his performance, it's not that bad. It's just the fact that he's hindered by that ridiculous accent. You can't really take him seriously. Like it's almost like something you'd see on a stage. It's a very sort of theatrical, performance.
Well, he is a proper East End London boy.
Is he really? What, you mean he actually talks like that?
Yeah, because don't know if you know this or not, many people know it, but he's the son of Freddie Foreman, the notorious London gangster that used to knock around with the Krays.
I thought his performance was brilliant. He was the best one in it.
So, yeah, he was...
Is he really? Yeah, so really, that's his proper...
He's the son of Freddie Foreman, yeah. Like, back
I couldn't get over it. I was just thinking, I couldn't take him seriously.
Yeah, he's like a proper Cockney East End boy. He's like, that's his real, well, I would say real, because he is quite theatrical with it. But he's not putting that London accent on. But I think the way that he delivers it, I think he tries to be old school London with it. And for me, he tries way too hard.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the feeling that I got from it.
Over the top,
Jamie Foreman, he's like a proper, not the sort of guy that you would want to tangle with.
I'm just packing my case in case he sent the lads down.
Because he probably knows somebody that will sort you out.
Oi, lads, I've been listening to that Blue Box podcast, mate. Get down there. Give him a right old seeing to. Make sure his legs he can't get up them apple and pears by the time you finish with him.
All right, I'll knock you a monkey, go and short them out, yeah?
Oh, blimey. Well, that's disturbing.
Yes. So I thought, like you said, his performance has got plenty of energy to it, and he's proper going for it. I just felt like he was just trying way too hard to get that point across that he was like a proper old school, like early 50s London dad who didn't take any messing from his missus or anyone else, all about perception and image and, reputation, and you wouldn't stand for any lip, But I don't know. It just seemed like it was just OTT for me. Yeah.
Whereas in contrast, Rita, the mum, gives a really subtle performance, and I actually think she's really good. I think she plays that sort of downtrodden wife quite well. Because she doesn't sort of overdo it, she's just like very subtle little looks, and she throws him out at the end. There's your case, but I think she's actually quite decent. She doesn't overdo it. I think she's one of the better people in it. Actually,
she's pretty good. Yeah, she downplays that nicely.
Yeah, she gives. I just think she's one of these actors that's not in it very much, but gives a nice little performance. Same with the son. He's perfectly good. Nothing wrong with him. What's his name? Tommy,
yep.
Tommy, yeah, he's all right. Rory Jenkins gives a good enough performance, I thought.
Yeah, he's pretty good. No complaints there, really. He was pretty good.
Do you think it's right that he goes off with his father at the end? Because the doctor, no, it's Billy, isn't it? Sorry, it's Rose. Get the name right.
It's Donna.
Rose.
It's Donna at the end.
Yeah. Is it right? Do you think that Rose says to him, "Go after him"? And is it because she's lost her dad? She's like, go after him. He needs someone. Or do you think he's such a horrible person? He gets what he deserves. Do you think Tommy should have run after him the way he did?
Do you know what, mate? I think that's very subjective. I honestly think that depends on how you feel about your own dad at the time of watching it. So I honestly think it's one of those. It's a complicated thing for me. You can absolutely see why Rose says to him, go after him because of. We hadn't seen that episode. Hold on. Yeah, because of Father's Day.
Yeah.
That was obviously a really emotional episode, wasn't it, for Rose and her dad and everything. And hold on a minute. Had we seen Rose's dad come back at this point? Was he in the Cybermen?
Yeah, he's in the Cybermen one. Yeah, because Rose is the dog in the alternative universe.
In the alternate universe, yeah. So she's had some run-ins with her dad at this point after the very emotional Father's Day. So you can see why she's telling him to go after, because I think he said something like he's an idiot or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but he's still your dad. Sort of
That's
thing.
it.
So from that point of view, I can see fine. But I don't know. It just seems too soon. Like, it doesn't seem like the dust has settled enough for him to like build a bridge with his dad. So I don't know. It just seemed like literally 10 minutes earlier, he was getting like bollocking number 54 or whatever. And then he's running off down the street after him, sort of thing. So I think it's a bit subjective, that one. I think some people will be like, yeah, he should have done that. It's quite cute. But other people will be like, no, he should have walked round the corner on his bloody own and never see him again. But yeah,
take his case and throw it under a car.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So it's all right. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see what you're getting at. Yeah, I suppose again, it's to me, it just felt like they were trying to tie every single little bit up very, very quickly, sort of thing. Like you said, I don't think it would have actually happened like that. But yeah, quite nice when he takes the case and he just sort of proudly sort of walks off. I suppose you get the character at that point.
That was cool, yeah, because he was feeling quite downtrodden, wasn't he? And when his son takes a case off of him, he sort of straightens up and he's like, "Yep,
yeah, look straightforward. I'm not acknowledging it, but I just kept thinking, Leopard doesn't change his spots. He'll be inside that case within. No, I shouldn't say that, but is it? Yeah, I think in terms of story, I get why they did it, but I wasn't too sure at the time.
No, it seems a bit too soon for me for him to do that. But what do you think to Mr. Magpie, the shop owner? Yeah.
Now, Mr. Magpie, I actually think he's really good. And this comes back to what you were saying earlier about potential in the story, because when he's scared of the Wire, it's the only time I feel that the Wire has any threat.
Right.
It's because of his performance. I think he plays it really well. He just, I like the actor. What's his name?
Ron Cook.
Ron Cook, yeah. I think he gives a really nice little performance in this. I think he acts it really well. Yeah, he's good. I like him.
Yeah, he does play that sort of petrified, very worried, because it comes across in two waves. Because at the very beginning, he's doing the books, isn't he? And he realises that he's going to go out of business, essentially. And so he's got that very stressed out, worried look. You never see this guy happy. You never see this character in any way other than worried, scared, up against it, sort of thing. So that's I agree with you, mate. His performance was really good.
I like it when he's trying to get Rose out of the shop as well. When he's like trying to save her, he's like, if you'd only listen, if you'd only stop being a blimmin' know-it-all, Rose, I'm trying to save your life.
Yeah,
but I like that character. I think he's good.
Yeah, that's one of those examples where she was a little bit too up herself.
Oh, she got what she deserved, I thought.
Yeah. He was good though. I did quite like his performance, and right at the very beginning, I was sold. That very opening scene. I just wish it would have continued, but so he sold it for me at the beginning, which is good. And then The Wire.
Maureen Lipman.
What do you reckon?
Neither good or bad. I kind of like her more. I kind of like Maureen Lipman, but my issue with it is more the character of the Wire, and like I just said, no threat, not really very exciting as a baddie. She again, I suppose you could say she's a bit pantomime with her acting in it. The way she's very she hams it up quite a bit, doesn't she? But I have to say I don't mind her because I quite like Maureen Lipman as an actor. So yeah, she's okay, but just the Wire as a villain is rubbish. So that's what I feel.
Yeah,
not her, just the villain.
It was okay. I just couldn't really. The only one thing that I found quite good and quite sort of borderline creepy about the whole thing was, even when she was being quite villainous, she still had this smile on her face, and she was still. So I find that a little bit unsettling. So I thought that element of her character and her performance was quite good, but there just wasn't anything else other than that made me think, this is really, really going to trouble the Doctor. He's going to have a hard time sorting this one out. I just didn't get that feeling. I pretty much from halfway through onwards, I thought, I don't think the Doctor's going to struggle too much to sort this one out. She didn't really pose enough of a sort of doomsday threat on the whole thing. It was more a case of everything hinders on this portable television.
Yeah, and also when she's taking over people, that you don't really get any sense of, because I suppose the direction is to just stand still. But I think it would have been much more creepy if they'd been going, a little bit more. Because I almost feel like when they were filming it, they were just like, right, stand still. We're just gonna add on the effect.
Yeah.
Please stand still for 10 seconds. There's nothing that needed to be a bit more. That's where the horror element could have come in, because there is a bit, isn't there? Which bit is it? Where you sort of see a hand. Is it when the policeman's half taken over and he's on the floor and you sort of see his handle twitching? Yeah, we needed a bit more of that to sell the sort of ruthlessness of the Wire, if you like. We could have done a bit more of that.
Yeah, and when the Doctor goes into the caged area with all the faceless people, they're not actually doing anything, but their hands are like twitching stuff. That was quite good. So there were, do you know what, mate? I think overall there were good little elements in this story, but they just weren't enough to save a poorly written script and overall sort of story, really.
Yeah. What do you think of the actual way it's all tied up there? Because we end up going to Alexandra Palace television station, don't we?
Yeah.
As I said, the effects of CGI are pretty ropey, but when they're actually going up what's supposed to be the aerial or whatever, that's okay, because clearly they filmed it outside. So rather than having a sort of terrible blue screen like we got in Vampires of Venice, where Matt's climbing that tower, this actually did feel like it was outside.
It did,
but
to a
it
degree.
still didn't. Yeah, but it still didn't really look that great somehow. I'm just wondering how many times David Tennant had to lick that radio.
Oh God!
I'm wondering how many takes he had to do. Poor bloke. Ugh.
Yeah, it looked all right. It looks okay. It was good that they filmed it outside, just to give it a bit more realism. But it was all right. It was a bit of a weak ending, I would say.
Very weak, yeah.
Purely because it had shades of the Third Doctor about it, which I quite liked, where the Doctor just picks out a load of junk from the TV shop. You know, as he's running down the street, he constructs this cool little thing. It reminded me of John Pertwee's Doctor, where he just constructs something and, there's all that good stuff.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
Yeah, so I thought that was quite good, but then the actual execution just seemed a bit lame. I just wasn't bothered by it really at all.
What does Tommy actually... Does he change a bulb? He does something that he actually sort of saves the day, really, doesn't he? Because the Doctor's kind of getting taken out by the Wire.
Yeah.
And Tommy sort of saves the day, really, doesn't he?
Yeah. Is it a transistor or a...
What happens to Mr. Magpie?
Well, he gets obliterated, doesn't he?
Oh,
she
yeah.
just he just a poof.
Popped off.
And he's gone, yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I just wasn't bothered by the ending at all. And then, straight after that, we see the Doctor and Rose just mingling around, having a glass of orange juice. And
I hated that last shot.
Yeah.
I just, when I said about smugness,
yep, it's
all summed up in that very last shot. I was just like, when it ended, I almost stuck two fingers up at the screen. It's like, oh, sod off. I really didn't like. I really didn't like the two of them at the end of that.
No, it was. Yeah, it wasn't great.
No.
So the Idiot's Lantern. Anything else you want to say before we give the world our verdict?
No, I'm done with it. Yeah,
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, no, I've finished with it. Actually, there is one thing.
Okay.
I was going to ask you. I've wondered why it was called the Idiot's Lantern, and I know now because it tells me on Wiki. But do you know? I expect you've looked, have you?
The Idiot's Lantern. It's called that because there's a guy in it who's a bit of an idiot. No, I don't know.
No,
why is it called?
Yep. It's I don't know even now because I can't find the page. I had it. It's something to do with Gareth Roberts. I think Gareth Roberts' dad used to call televisions the Idiot's Lantern. He mentioned it to Mark Gatiss.
Right.
And he said, "Oh, that's a good title. Yeah, I like that." It's something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, The Idiot's Lantern. Yeah, Gareth Roberts, little tie-in.
Very nice.
Yeah. I have to be honest, I was so unbothered by the story, I didn't really care why it was called that, but I just happened to see it when I was looking at the notes earlier.
Well, that's quite cool. A little bit of trivia.
Yeah, a little bit of trivia for you guys out there.
Cool. Whose turn is it to go first? I can't remember. Could be me.
You, I think.
Yeah, could be me. Okay, I'm going to go straight in and give this one a 3.
Okay, yeah, that is quite low.
Have you given it a 7 or something?
No, good grief. No. I've gone slightly higher than you, 4.5.
Oh.
Yeah, I wrote 5 originally, but scribbled it out and went lower. 4.5 for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
might be a bit generous, but I don't think it's horrendous. I think it's watchable. It's not. It's one that I can make it through watching no problem. You know, it's not. It's no Husbands of River Song or anything like that. But no, I could watch it. It's an easy enough watch. I don't think it's terrible, but it's certainly not one I'll be picking out from the box set anytime soon again.
Yeah. Originally I was thinking of 4, but do you know what? I think I only enjoyed the first 10 minutes.
I think Tennant could have saved this for me.
Yeah.
I really, really thought.
Yeah.
Felt let down by him. Sorry, David. I know you listen, but no, I don't know. Just normally the Doctor can. We said it about Matt Smith. Normally the Doctor can pull up an average episode in their performance, but it didn't happen with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything particularly to complain about with Tennant. I just felt that it was a little bit withheld some of his range in it. I thought it was just a bit. I thought the whole episode was a bit samey, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I thought the opening was great, had really good potential, but literally after the first 5 or 10 minutes max, it just dives downhill, and it's just very, very forgettable.
Yeah, it's definitely is. I would say a filler. It's a filler episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some listener reviews. Thank you very much for sending in your thoughts and stuff. We're going to do Twitter, Facebook, but first let's do an audio review. This is Alex Kingdom.
Hello, Garen from the Big Blue Box podcast now. The Idiot's Lantern, or otherwise Woman Screaming At a Box, for about 30 minutes. I really don't enjoy this episode. I think it has so much wrong with it. Especially the villain, every time you see her on screen going, "Hungry! Feed me!" Sorry about that. But yeah, that's how it sounds. It sounds literally like a squeaking, weird... What even is it? I mean, I know villains are meant to be, you don't like them, but this really is just annoying. Like, I want to turn down the TV. And I like the premise, though, of the TV, getting the faces away and stuff, and that gives power. That works really well. But the whole thing of an annoying villain is when it has to stop. Doctor Who cannot do this. I mean, her plan isn't even that sorted out. I mean, yes, everyone's watching on the Queen's coronation, and she uses Magpie to help her, but really... it doesn't really work, and the subplot with the boy and dad is awesome. I really like that plot. So that episode is honestly pretty bland. It's fine. It's got a few places of light, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. It's fine. It's just really bad villain and really bad premise. But I do like the Doctor in the episode. Rose, really, she's alright, I guess. See you guys next week.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Alex.
Always make some good points, Alex.
He does, and he always sends in an audio every week, pretty much, without fail. So we appreciate that, don't we? So
very much so.
He's always supports the podcast. Cheers, Alex.
Thank you very much. Over on Twitter, Connor Allen says, "Great story. I love the 1950s setting. People nicking other people's faces from the TV. Unique and creepy. A great episode."
Oh, what was the chap's name? Alex?
Connor Allen.
Oh, Connor. Sorry, Connor's probably switched off ages ago. He's like, what?
Yeah, his Twitter name is Jimmy_Goodchild.
All right.
Then we had, again, one of our long-time listeners. Our Twitter name is Josie Melanchon30. And I've seen this picture before. She put a picture on her dressed as Rose from this episode.
Oh.
Which is cool. So she's all about the cosplay.
It's a good one for cosplay. We should say that with the
Yep.
scooter and the slick back hair. I can imagine you doing that when you do your Tenon cosplay. And the glasses. Yeah, it's a good one for cosplay.
Of course. Matt Goodacre says, not one of my favourite stories. I find the 10/Rose relationship unbearable and the plot boring, but the monsters look cool.
What did the lady before say? Was it just that it was a good one for cosplay?
Well, she said that she agreed with Connor, the first review, and she said, I could add that I fell in love with her outfit, and that's when she posted the pic.
Oh, I'm with you. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
So she agrees with Connor. It's a good episode. And she does look like Rose. Spot on, pretty much.
Yeah. I'll check it out. Right.
A.P, Twitter name Who Observation, says, one of my least favourite in Tennant's era. Never watched it the whole way through. I would give it a 1 out of 10.
Good Lord.
Good Lord.
1 out of 10. I'll send the boys round.
Before we go on to Facebook, let's do another audio. This is Joe Sweeney.
Hello, Gary and Adam. Hope you guys are well. So, my review of The Idiot's Lantern, what do I think of it? In my opinion, it is a story that you don't get excited about or is nothing to shout about, really. It's okay to some aspects. Let me start with, like, when the Doctor rides a moped out to the TARDIS. I thought that's a good way to start the episode. And I like it how this story is all set in 1950s, where it's all like black and white TVs and very small before modern day TVs. I thought that was really, really intriguing. David Tennant's performance was really good. It just shows how the Doctor would go to any extreme lengths to save Rose. And Billy's performance was very good as Rose. Tommy was quite good, of assisting the Doctor on his adventure, but I don't like the father at all, but I'm glad he's got his comeuppance at the end when his wife finally saw the light. And The Wire, I'm not too overly fussed about it, because I don't find her very fearsome or very threatening, but I do like how she pulls her victim's face into the TV screen. Overall, okay episode, but I'll give it a score of 7 out of 10. Hope you enjoy the podcast, guys. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
It's a good point. So I didn't mind the Doctor screaming out of the TARDIS on a scooter.
No, I quite like that bit, actually.
Pretty good. Yeah. Right, on Facebook. George Coppen says, pretty weak episode. The villain is kind of lame and the supporting actors aren't brilliant, but it's not the worst episode in the series. 3.5.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yep. Sammy Satine gives us another good little synopsis here. The Wire decides to ruin Queen Elizabeth II's coronation by sucking people's faces off and feasting on their brain activity through their brand new Magpie Electricals TV. Pretty much sums it up.
Yes, perfect.
Good thing the 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler say today by recording, then taping over The Wire. I like this episode. I don't really like Mr. Connolly much. Very aggressive. Don't fully understand why, at the end, Tommy was encouraged to go off with him. Love Rose's dress and the shoes. Also, the Doctor has a motorcycle in the TARDIS. Who knew? Love David Tennant. Love Billy. Overall, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, a lot of love for Rose's dress in this one, isn't there?
Yeah.
Which is good.
George Coppen then went on to say, nope, that ain't Donna.
Oh, yeah, because you put
previous fluff there.
Clunker.
Thank you. Lewis Palmer says, don't mind this one. As with all of the RTD era, I grew up on it, so I have a huge fondness for it. The villain is actually quite creative. Not much to say on this other than Rose is annoying, and I give it a 7.5 down to pure nostalgia.
Fair enough.
Danny Brown. Although Tennant and Piper are on top form this episode, the poor narrative lets the story down. 6.5. Enjoy the show, guys.
Cheers, Danny Brown.
Jeff Waddle, lastly on Facebook, says, an alien mind trying to take over the world via TV signals, people's faces being stolen, a father who obviously is abusive to his kid. The kid is obviously struggling with the fact he is gay. All potentially good storylines on paper, which is what Gatiss is good at, and yet somehow, like most of his stories, it's turned into a load of tripe on the screen. He goes on to say, almost unwatchable. I saw it on transmission, and that's it. Never again. Tennant and Piper at their smug worst. Self-indulgent rubbish. 1 out of 10. The one being for the idea of someone stealing faces.
I do love the word tripe. It always makes me laugh. Yeah,
so
brilliant.
Jeff, not happy with that one.
No.
That'll do for the official Facebook page. Have you got anything on the Geek's handbag?
No, nothing this week. No comments. Yeah, which probably speaks volumes about this episode.
Yep.
But no, nothing this week.
In that case, we'll finish up audio reviews. This is from Who Addicts, Matt Rowney.
Hey there, Gary and Adam. I hope you two are well. Now, quickly, because I forgot to comment on last week's episode, The Robots of Death, outstanding. 9 out of 10. Couldn't get much worse, though, could it? The Idiot's Lantern. It's bloody awful. It's one of the most flat and forgettable and unmemorable stories that we've ever had in Doctor Who. I mean, there is nothing that you look back fondly on with this episode. There's nothing that stands out. There's nothing that makes you want to go and watch it again. It's just so flat and forgettable. And one of the reasons for that is The Wire, who is one of the worst villains we've ever had in Doctor Who. She was so irritating, so annoying, and she made you want to put your fist, never mind through her TV screen, but through your own TV screen. She got on my absolute nerves. Hungry, shut up. She was such a stupid villain. I mean, and even the characters in this couldn't save the episode. The side characters were average at best. I hate Rose Tyler full stop anyway, so nothing will ever make me like her. But even the 10th Doctor couldn't save this episode. Everything was just so flat and so jarring, and it's an episode that I will never ever go back to rewatch unless you paid me to. So The Idiot's Lantern for me is one of the weakest of Series 2 and Modern Who in general, and I'd probably give it a 4 out of 10.
Oh dear.
Oh dearie, dear me.
Not a lot of love for this episode at all.
No.
Which bums me out because I love the Tennant era. So I don't like it when we have these clunkers.
No, I don't either. I wanted it to be like one of those little undiscovered gems where you think, God, why have I not watched this for a while? You know, this is actually pretty good. But no, so isn't.
Like the twin dilemma.
Yes. Like that you can't beat galactic slugs.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah.
What are we doing next week, dude?
Oh, yes. Next week, it's Sylvester McCoy because we're off to the Psychic Circus, Gary. Going to land the TARDIS in the Psychic Circus. We're going to get our scoreboards ready because it is, of course, the greatest show in the galaxy.
Yay!
Next week, yes. Back to the classics.
We've wanted to do this one for a while.
Indeed, we have.
For a long while, but we've held off for a while. So, yes, very much looking forward to that one.
Yeah, actually, you're right. This has jumped around our schedule for a while. I don't know particular reason. It just has. But yeah, we're finally doing it. So great show in the galaxy next week.
So look out for the Facebook post for that. We'll also put it on Twitter and so on. So we'd love to hear your thoughts. So send in an audio clip or a video clip if you like, up to a minute max, or just pop your thoughts on Facebook or Twitter. And I think we'll do there, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you so much for sticking with us and listening to episode 90. We are approaching the big 100.
We are, yeah.
Which is good. I wonder if we'll get to 200.
Well, be positive, Gary. Come on, let's have a bit of positivity.
I wonder if we will. I wonder if we'll make it to 100.
Gosh. Yeah, well, I'd like to think so. Yeah, we've got enough stories, haven't we? So.
Oh, of course, yeah. So really looking forward to next week. Greatest show in the galaxy.
Imagine if we're by 200. Imagine if we've run out of stories and we've had to resort to reviewing, like, I don't know, the freebie that was given away with Sugar Puffs in the 80s, a little Colin Baker comics. And,
yeah, like Titan merchandise, like week 12. This is like the 12th Titan thing. The podcast is like 7 minutes long.
And we're both actually, and we're not even human anymore. We're just two little heads in a glass jar with loads of wires.
Oh, crikey. Right.
Like the Troglophane, two Troglophane doing a podcast.
In all seriousness, I'm very looking forward to hearing our viewers' thoughts for Greatest Show in the Galaxy.
Me too.
So check out the website, www.bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. You can listen to all the past episodes there. Plus, you can link off to all the social stuff, and you can also subscribe as well. And if you do listen to us in iTunes, if you could leave us a review and a rating, that would be amazing. Thank you very much. Remember to check out Adam's channel, The Geek's Handbag. Do a search for him on YouTube and Facebook.
You're not going to believe this, but guess what's out? Well, it will be out by the time this podcast. Guess what's out?
Crikey, not a video.
Yes. Only that blimmin' silver screen TARDIS video.
Ah, sweet.
It's only been 2.5 years in the making. It's it's finally out. Well, it will be. It'll be out tomorrow by the time this podcast go out. Yeah.
Oh, nice one. I'm looking forward to that, mate.
Enjoy.
So check out Adam's channel. Loads of cool videos. All good stuff there. So next week, it's going to be a great show. Until then, my name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And remember...
Lonzy!